G'day, Ethan here. Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch with Ethan, a travel show all about trying to encourage young people and their families to get off the couch and get out into the great outdoors to see and experience the amazing places Australia has on offer. In this episode, I am so excited to be showcasing to you all the fantastic activities and amazing locations specifically for young people and their families on South Australia's beautiful Copper Coast. Now the coastline of the Copper Coast is absolutely picturesque. I mean, have a look where we're standing now. The North Beach at Port Hughes is absolutely sensational. But today, I want to dedicate this episode to showcasing some different activities, places to stay, and things to do and see for young people and their families. These are places you might not generally visit or places you might not even heard of. But I want to showcase these places because they are a fantastic way for young people and their families to get off the couch. So when you come visit the Copper Coast, definitely make sure you visit the sensational coastline and all the other things you do when you come to the beach. But also, maybe check out some of the places I'm about to show you because I can almost guarantee you they'll be heaps of fun for you and your family. So, let's get started. Today, I'm heading off to a South Australian favourite, the Copper Coast. Located just 2 hours north of Adelaide, the Copper Coast is a region right at the top of the Yorke Peninsula, situated on the western side along Spencer's Gulf. To start off my trip, I'm heading to Wallaroo, located on the northwestern side of the Copper Coast. Wallaroo is a beachfront town, and I've got to say, it truly is a picturesque place to be. Firstly, I'm off to the Wallaroo Holiday Park to catch up with the Copper Coast Mayor to hear all about the incredible sights the Copper Coast has on offer.
Oh, the Copper Coast is such a great place to come. You know, you can't beat our beautiful beaches. We have 3 coastal areas at Wallaroo, Moonta Bay and Port Hughes, and all 3 of them have beautiful beaches and they're all different. But you know, the Wallaroo beach is one of the beaches in South Australia where you can actually drive your car on, park really close to the water, have a game of cricket, have a swim. But here on the Copper Coast we have 3 major towns and all of them are quite unique and different. Kadina being the main commercial centre, Wallaroo being a seaside town with a nice upgraded main street, and of course then we have our historic Moonta, which has a real village vibe to it and a really eclectic shopping strip that is busy 7 days of the week. So, you know, they're all really good places to come, and of course there's great activities in all 3 towns to see. How can I have a favourite? It's like choosing between all your children. But no, it just depending what you want to do. You know, you can have activities that are quite sedentary and laid back. You know, sit on the jetty, drop a line in, relax and fish. Or you can be out there on our walking and bike trails, getting some exercise. We've got fantastic playgrounds, plenty to see and do, but I can't have a favourite.
Well, I absolutely love camping, but from time to time, it is nice to stay in a bit more upper class. Here at Wallaroo Holiday Park, they've got accommodation to fit all budgets and all styles, from unpowered campsites all the way up to these absolutely beautiful beachfront apartments. And I've got to say, there doesn't get a better view in the Copper Coast, because look what you're waking up to each morning.
Wallaroo Holiday Park is in the best position. It's right on our famous North Beach at Wallaroo, but there's accommodation to suit everyone. You know, you can camp in an unpowered site, right up to our beautiful first class apartments here with their, great balconies looking out over the ocean and everything in between. So it caters for so many.
The Wallaroo Holiday Park has so much to offer.
with a wide range of accommodation, heaps of fun activities.
They even have a petting zoo.
And it's true when they say location, location, location. The Wallaroo Holiday Park is quite literally on the foreshore of North Beach, making it an almost instant walk from your bed to the beach. And with so many fun activities right on site, it's a perfect place for the whole family.
It's a great place to base yourself. You can go out, have a really busy day, come back, sit down, relax, have a nice cold drink and recharge the batteries, ready to go again for the next day. Yeah, we're really proud of the Copper Coast. You know, we have some really great businesses here. There's everything available to you here, and the cafes and restaurants, there's such a wide variety of availability to you. So, you know, if you want to come here to the Copper Coast, everything that you would want and need is available here within the Copper Coast.
Now, all around the Copper Coast, there is another fun and exciting activity that everyone can do.
We have bike tracks around all of the three towns. The track between Kadina and Wallaroo, the Copper Trail, that's really great. You can, you know, leisurely ride your bike from one town to the other. It's only a 10-kilometre ride, so it is doable. But then once you get to each town, there are cycling trails around the town where you can view all of the sights to see within the townships as well. You know, you're getting your exercise, but you can hear and see and smell all your surroundings because you're actually in the surroundings and there's no external noise. You know, if you're in a car, you've got your windows up and you're not sure what's going on, but while you're on your bike, you're actually out there as one with your surroundings and getting that important exercise as well.
One of the awesome things that you can do on the Copper Coast is visit Splashtown at Moonta Bay. Now, Splashtown is this awesome water park. They've got water slides, they've got all these games, they've got a massive big bucket of water that dunks on you every minute or so. I don't know how I've convinced myself I'm going to do this, but I'm going to jump under the big bucket and see how I go. Are you guys ready to go? Yeah, come on, let's do this, let's go! Let's go! Come on! Well done! Well done! We did it!
Splashtown really is awesome fun, especially because you're able to enjoy all the benefits of the beach, but all undercover and supervised. And, I mean, who doesn't love a water slide?
Splashtown at Moonta Bay is a great activity for kids, and you know it's free. It's really great that, you know, you don't always have to put in your hand in your pocket. I'll tell you, once you've come, you won't want to leave. And if it's your first visit, it won't be your last. You know, if you want to get up off the couch, head to the Copper Coast, so much to do.
Well, there you go. The Copper Coast really has got it all.
Okay, now let's get off the couch and come to the Copper Coast and have a great time.
Today on the Copper Coast, a major export is grain, and a lot of it is actually exported via ship from the shipping port here at Wallaroo. But you see, grain wasn't the only major export of the Copper Coast. In fact, there was something else which gave Copper Coast its name. So, I thought I'd go learn a bit more about the history of the Copper Coast and what makes the Copper Coast the Copper Coast.
Now, the region known as the Copper Coast was home to the local Narungga people for thousands of years. In fact, the name Moonta is derived from the Aboriginal word munta. But in the 1860s, copper was discovered, which started a gigantic mining rush, attracting thousands of people to the area. At the time, it made Moonta the largest settlement of people outside of Adelaide in South Australia. Now, just outside of the town of Moonta, I'm off to learn some more about the history of the Copper Coast with my tour guide Ian.
Okay, Moonta Mines was founded in 1861 with the discovery of copper by a shepherd by the name of Patrick Ryan. And from that very small deposit of copper that he found by a wombat burrow, developed one of the largest copper mines in the southern hemisphere. It worked from 1862 right through to 1923, and they took out some 21 million tonnes of copper during that time that was processed and sent off and sold on world markets. At its peak, there was around 12,000 people living in the Moonta Mines area. 95% of those came from Cornwall because the company wanted the best copper miners in the world, and the Cornish were the best copper miners in the world. The mines in Cornwall were closing down, and so the company sent recruitment teams to Cornwall and paid for the Cornish miners to come out. This was the largest settlement of Cornish people outside of Cornwall anywhere in the world, hence the tag Moonta, Australia's little Cornwall.
So one of the pretty awesome things that you can do out here at Moonta Mines is go for a ride on the Moonta tourist train, and it can really give you an up close and personal experience with all the heritage that happened out here at Moonta Mines. And I've got to say, it's a pretty fun way of getting around. So, all aboard, are you guys all ready to go? Yeah! Let's go, all aboard!
When you go for a ride on the tourist train, you take a 4 kilometre ride back in history. The train goes through one of the areas of the mining lease. It looks at some of the old mine sites. It explains some of the mining processes that were used to recover copper from the tailings heaps, and generally gives you some idea of the early living conditions of the people here in Moonta Mines. It's a step back in history and is a snapshot of what happened here in Moonta over 150 years ago.
Now the railway at Moonta Mines is awesome, and you have to come visit it. But it's not the only piece of history you can find at Moonta Mines, so I'm checking out the very interesting and informative interactive museum.
It's a pretty fascinating building. First of all, what was this building
This used
originally?
to be a school.
Really? There you go.
Yes, there was a lot of students in here because at its peak, the population here was second highest to Adelaide.
Wow, really?
So obviously there were a lot of children in this school.
Fantastic, that's incredible. Yeah, and I mean, the mines is one thing that happened around here, but of course with mines is people and houses and a whole community forms.
Exactly. They came from Cornwall, the miners, that even the government eventually gave them free passage to come out here.
Yeah.
Now, because copper is poisonous, the crust of a Cornish pasty was bigger so that the miner can hold on to it, and that what was in his hand was thrown away.
That's why Cornish pasties have got thicker pastry.
Yeah, and at that time, not now. Now the crimp's absolutely delicious.
Yes.
But in those days, that was the handle, you could say.
Yeah, there you go.
The museum gives you an insight into how life was for the miners over 150 years ago.
So Ursula, what have we got through here? This looks pretty cool.
Oh no, if you're afraid of the dark, you don't want to go in there. All right? This is what it would have looked like for a miner to go down into the mine.
Yeah, fantastic. Should we have a walk through?
Oh, please.
Oh,
But
goodness
you're not
me.
afraid of the dark?
No, well, I don't know. I think those miners 150 years ago wouldn't have had a phone to pull out for a torch.
So come for a ride on the train and check out the museum. It's a great way to immerse yourself in the history of this incredible place. But there's also something else you have to come see and maybe eat.
Obviously the people that built this place were a little bit shorter than I am. But anyway, Moonta Mines has got some pretty interesting places to come and see and experience. But one of the places I'm in now is the old sweet shop. Now, this building actually used to be the post office, but it's now been converted into an old school sweet shop, which would have been around Moonta and other places around South Australia the era that the mines were opened. So you can literally come in and see hundreds of different lollies, chocolates and other sweets and get that real authentic old sweet shop experience. I don't know about you, but I'm going to need a few trolleys when I leave here.
Not only is there a sweet shop, but there are dozens of old buildings, many still standing. And it's just so interesting to come out and explore it all.
I wish my history lessons at school were as interesting as this. So we try to tailor the trip to create interest among the younger generation as well as the older generation. So folks, really you need to get off the couch. If you haven't been to Moonta Mines, come out and visit us. There's an old saying, if you haven't been to Munta, then you haven't travelled, boy. So get off the couch, come to Moonta Mines and go for a ride on the train and see how the people lived in the early days.
Well, there you have it. Moonta Mines, a must visit on your next trip to the Copper Coast.
Well, I've stopped here at Tarnessy Farm, a bit of a hidden gem located on the northern side of the Yorke Peninsula, right in between Kadina and Wallaroo. Now, I believe Tarnessy Farm has a pretty exciting and awesome activity for young people and their families that is something you wouldn't do every day. So, I thought I'd come check it out. Let's go.
Tarnessy Farm is a unique attraction that you might not have ever heard of, yet it's right in the heart of the Copper Coast. So I dropped in to chat with farmer Kerry to find out what it's all about.
So Kerry, can you tell me a little bit about what you have on offer out here at Tarnessy Farm?
Oh, sure. So we really wanted to build somewhere where children can make memories and they can do something that they don't get to do every day. So that's feed the animals, interact with the animals, they can have a little farmer tour. And that's a guided tour, so they come in, they get to interact with all the animals, feed them all, collect the chicken, eggs, hose down a horse, really get up close and personal with the animals and spend as much time with them as they'd like to. And then we also have on-site accommodation in the way of 7 self-contained cabins.
This place is pretty awesome and in a beautiful setting makes it a perfect place for families to stay together. But I want to find out what this unique and exciting adventure is that Tarnessy Farm has on offer.
So I just wanted to provide a really safe space for kids to be able to come in. Obviously first they meet Wilbur, he's our show pony, if you'd like to say. He's loves the kids, absolutely puts on a show every time. And then move through to the other pigs, the sheep, the goats. The cows are a massive favourite. Their slobber is plentiful and always gives the guests a pretty good laugh. And then obviously the horses. It was made up of rescue animals, and I think they've realised themselves that they're in a pretty unique place, and they're really, really friendly towards the kids and really welcoming.
So here at Tarnessy Farm, one of the exciting things that you get to do on the Little Farmers Tours is feed the chickens, but this isn't just feeding chickens in any ordinary way. You actually get to feed the chickens as the chickens go for a little run. So are you guys ready for the chicken run? Yeah! Okay, let's count them in. You ready? 3, 2, 1, release the chickens!
Okay, so the chickens were feeling a bit stage fright when we had the cameras on them. But I am told that normally the chickens love to go for a massive run, to get their food of course. Tarnessy Farm is a really groovy place, and the friendliness doesn't just stop with the animals. Kerry and her staff are just incredibly welcoming and would make any visit or stay that whole lot more enjoyable.
So we're basically located between Kadina and Wallaroo on the northern side of the main highway. And the really nice thing about that is that there's no traffic, there is no background noise apart from the odd tractor. So it is quite serene, and really we've kept it to a sort of boutique kind of setting so that there's not 200 people here. It's literally, there's 7 cabins, there will be no more.
And by providing a large and open, safe space, it allows young people to come out, ride their bikes, see the animals, or just run around to their heart's content, while the adults can sit back and relax, enjoying the serene environment.
We've got couches in our cabins. I don't actually think they get used often because the kids literally do get off the couch, and that is, you know, one of the biggest motivators for this thing is just to get the kids out and about and stop this look up, look what's around you, see some really different things, things, you know, most people don't get to hand feed a pig, they don't get to, you know, pick up a duck. So it's really just to give them an experience that they may never ever get anywhere else. You know, it's an educational thing as well for most kids, and they don't even realise it because they're just having fun at the same time. So for us, it's all about fun, inclusive, really relaxed, open, tranquil setting that they can just enjoy and literally get off the couch.
This place is really great. It's something a little bit different and it might be out of the comfort zone of some, but I can guarantee that you will have a ball. Come on, it's a great place to
Get off the couch! Now, getting off the couch and jumping in your car is one thing, but getting off the couch and jumping on two wheels is a whole nother experience. The Copper Coast have numerous cycling, nature and walking trails dotted all around the coast, and I know just the place you can get your hands on not just any old bike, but an e-bike and explore the Copper Coast on two wheels for yourself. So I thought I'd go have a chat to Anne and Colin. Let's go.
So I'm heading to Moonta, in the historic heart of the Copper Coast, to meet Anne and Colin, who run Copper Trails Bike Hire.
The Copper Trails Bike Hire, we are brand new, and what we have brought to the Copper Coast is e-bikes, vintage bikes, universal bikes, some kids bikes and a tandem bike as well. So we are looking to make sure that the people that come out to the Copper Coast can get around and they can have a look at the mines, they can see the beautiful sunshine as we are today. So we just give people and our visitors and our residents an opportunity to really explore the Copper Coast, to meander around the townships in regards to Kadina, Moonta, Port Hughes, Wallaroo, and also to look at the history in the area.
Now there are so many designated safe and sealed bike tracks all over the Copper Coast, so why not make use of them and hire a bike?
Well, the idea of the bike hire shop allows people to go and see the major sites of Moonta as well as the not so major. We can go see the mines, which is probably the most important thing around it, but you also get to go to South Peak at Port Hughes, you go see the jetties, you take experience of the e-bikes, and that's what we're here for, to give everybody that experience, not only use of e-bikes, but to get the whole experience of what this area is all about.
Now I've heard a lot about these so-called e-bikes, and I'm eager to learn more.
One of the things we try to do is it doesn't really matter about your fitness level or how long you've been riding a bike, or in fact if you've ever ridden a bike at all, we can cater for you all. E-bikes, they're entirely nearly automatic, you can do it yourself. You decide the pressure, the pace, whatever you want to do, and it'll do it for you, and it helps.
Everyone that comes from using it says it's just such a great fun. It can get up to 25 kilometres an hour, so you're having a really good fun time while you're out on it.
Right, so I thought it was time that I personally tried out these new fancy bikes myself.
Oh, there we go, fits all over my big head. All that hair.
Okay, I've got to say, these e-bikes are heaps of fun. They are super easy to get the hang of, and believe me, you won't want to go back to using a regular bike. It doesn't feel right.
I see. I might just run away. Ah! This is like cheating. That's great. Oh wow, that's fantastic.
E-bikes allow you to cruise your way around the Copper Coast, taking in all the amazing sights as you zoom your way around the dozens of bike paths.
But for us to really get off the couch, to really get outside, one of the most important things is you actually do get to meet people as well. So if you're feeling isolated or you're feeling a bit sad, you can actually get out and about and you can meet people. As you would say, Ethan, we need to get off the couch. We need to actually get moving. And really with the times that we're in today, we want to get out. We want to be healthy and getting out and about on a bike. You can see so many different things, and you can, rather than being in a car where you don't see some of the other special parts around our area. So the Copper Trails Bike Hire does have a couch inside, but you only use it so that you can fill in your forms before you go. So we absolutely want you to get off the couch. We want you to come and visit Moonta and the Copper Coast. We want you to use our bikes and to explore what the wonderful things around here, and hopefully you'll come back again later. Thank you.
Copper Trails Bike Hire, cycling in what is an absolutely picturesque location. Well, that wraps up my Copper Coast adventure. I had heaps of fun on my travels here, and like me, I hope that you learned something new and are ready to go out and experience a different type of activity that you wouldn't normally do on your next adventure to the Copper Coast. And I've barely even scraped the surface on all the activities along the Copper Coast, let alone the picturesque locations further south along the Yorke Peninsula. So stay tuned. I'll be showcasing the stunning Yorke Peninsula in another trip very soon. But for now, why not plan your next school holidays, long weekend, or even just a weekend getaway to the Copper Coast? With just a 2-hour drive from Adelaide, with so many activities to suit all ages and interests, the Copper Coast truly is a fantastic place for young people and their families to visit. All you have to do is get off the couch.
Well, thank you for joining me on my Copper Coast adventure. I hope that you've seen there are plenty of fun and exciting activities for young people and their families out here on the Copper Coast. And it's just a 2-hour drive from Adelaide, making it a perfect destination for a weekend getaway. Now make sure you head to my website, offthecouchwithethan.com.au, where you can catch up on all the latest episodes, and be sure to like me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram to keep up to date with my travels. Well, young people and your families, it's your turn now to get off the couch and come and visit the Copper Coast. And as always, I'll see you on my next trip. Here in the old sweet shop at Moonta Mines, there's so many things to do. I launched it, I completely winged that. Well, I've come here to Tarnacy Farm. It's an awesome place and I cannot wait to see you out here. Oh no, hang on, that's weird. And be sure to like me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram to keep up to date. Oh no, too much pressure. I got an audience, that's the problem. Can come out to the Copper Coast and hire a bike, and then we'll be on our way. Okay, that was good, wasn't it? It was good? No? That was a good wrap. Thank you so much, Anne, for your support.